Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. My friends, today we're talking Guilty Gear Strive, and specifically we're talking the old Roman cancel. Now, we've actually talked a lot about Roman cancels on this channel already. A lot of the basics and even some interesting stuff with like some near universal mix-ups. And you can find those videos linked at the end of this video. But for today, we're going to talk about 5 specific examples. Just make Roman cancels so great and so interesting. Just 5 very interesting things you can do with Roman cancels. So with that said, hey, let's just get right to it and let's start with number 1. So number 1 has to do with Roman cancels. Naturally, they all will have to do with the Roman cancels, and it has to do with the concept of momentum. So if I jump, say with Zato, and I Roman cancel, I keep the momentum of that jump. So if I'm about to reach the peak, I'll Roman cancel, then finish my jump to the peak and go back down. Same with like a backward jump. And if I'm already on my way down, I'll keep going down, right? The Roman cancel will do its best to keep the momentum you previously had before the Roman cancel, although sometimes it can kind of turbocharge it. So quick example here, let's use his jumping dust. So he moves forward, just big old shark bite kind of deal, right? Now, if I were to Roman cancel just right when it starts, it'll keep that initial momentum. And as you can see here, he just kind of gets flung across the screen. And he just gets launched at the enemy. And this applies to basically every single move in the game, be it horizontal momentum, downwards momentum, and we'll talk about more on that later, trust me. But yeah, that is one of the core rules of the game, is you keep the momentum you had going into the Roman cancel, and it just keeps going forward after the Roman cancels. So effectively, with Zato, I can like launch myself as like a human missile. Like I just use that initial momentum from the air dust, and with the Roman cancel just shoots me forward like a friggin' rocket. And that's just a Zato example. So let's switch to someone like, say, Chip. So if you thought the previous example was a little crazy, ain't seen nothing yet. So Chip has Alpha Blade, right? And he has the air version as well. And once again, same rules apply here. So yeah. So I bet you wouldn't expect that in a match, right? The fact that he just, if the other one was a missile, this one's a laser. Like, he's coming at you at the speed of light. So just keep in mind, anything that is momentum-based, any move, and once again, you can cancel any move into a Roman cancel, right? It'll keep that momentum going forward. So if you were already going whipping fast, you'll keep going whipping fast after your Roman cancel. So there's a lot that can be done, and we'll have a couple momentum-based examples later in the video. But just that concept alone, that the Roman cancel keeps and amplifies any momentum you may have. Another thing it's a very big help for is anyone with a command grab. So Potemkin, he's kind of the more obvious example, so we'll talk about him for a second here. But yeah, so regular command grab, it's got all right range. Even his fabled Kara command grab, can't quite hit from that far away. But if I were to forward shift blue RC cancel, and then quick Roman cancel my forward shift blue RC cancel, well then, all of a sudden, we're grabbing outside of, the normal ranges. It's not infinite range, right? But it can definitely give you a big boost even what over you normally have. And of course, slide blue forward Roman cancels, it helps anything. Like we said about the momentum stuff earlier, right? Then all of a sudden we got a Mega Fist that goes like double the distance. So that helps a lot. So how about purple Roman canceling moves, right? Potemkin is a classic example, and then we'll go to some others. So he has the Hammerfall move, he runs forward and he does the punch. And you can cancel it early, then go to the grab, but that's really slow, right? So why bother? Why not just go right into the grab, right? And all of a sudden, you're going full screen, armored too, because it is an armored move. And you can turn that attack into a grab instantly, because that is the power of the Roman cancel. What about someone like Soul Bad Guy? He has a command grab, right? Definitely not as like long range as Potemkin, but with purple Roman cancel, you can be as long range as you want. You can use the Night Raid Vortex move, which goes under just about everything. It's crazy, right? And right before you connect, purple Roman cancel it and melee cancel your Roman cancel into a command grab. And it's that easy. So you can easily work your way in, because once again, Night Raid Vortex goes under just about everything, right? And then right before the hit, and a lot of people are going to block it because it's full combo punishable on block, Well, then, all of a sudden you're turning the tables and it just became a big old dunk of a command grab. How about someone like Faust? Faust has the Scarecrow moves, and you can turn these Scarecrows just into immediate full screen command grabs. Like, screw the travel time we had with Sol and Potemkin, right? How does instant and anywhere on screen sound to you? Well, to me, sounds pretty good, right? So you can take specifically it's the slash Scarecrow, because it puts you like directly in front of the enemy, and then immediately purple Roman cancel it when it's just there, and you're directly on top of them, anywhere on the screen. As long as their feet's not basically in the air, you get an immediate command grab anywhere on the screen, all thanks to the power of the Roman cancel. So it turbocharges so much, and especially when it comes to command grabs, it turbocharges them big time. And for a lot of moves, the Roman cancel, well, it gives them a new lease on life. Something like, Kai's big old shocks, nice and slow, takes up a lot of the screen, you can run behind, all that kind of stuff. But what if you want to, run in front of it instead, right? And then all of a sudden, it's backing you up whatever you do, and if they try to smack you, they're going to get smacked instead, and then you can convert. And that's a very basic example, right? But it's a very strong example. That's kind of Purple RC 101. So let's move over, and let's switch back to Sol for a second here. So now let's take another basic example here, like Gunflame Pressure. Gunflame's pretty alright as it stands, but with Purple RCs here, you can kind of get out ahead of it. And I can command grab you before it even connects. So that's real scary, right? So now you're in a real bad guessing game. But now let's go back and do a little bit of a callback. So we talked about momentum, right? So let's say something like Bandit Bringer has very strong downwards momentum, and we can abuse that with the Roman cancel. So here I am, and at a lot of ranges, it's a little bit negative. If you hit specifically at the tip of their toes or whatever, it's like a little plus, but it's usually a little negative. But how about it's wildly positive on block, and now we have basically an unseeable mix-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to Roman cancel it. It's going to be the red Roman cancel specifically, and we're going to cancel out that red Roman cancel with a normal, and that is heavy slash. So for the benefit of those, I have my inputs on the side now, and it looks like this. So I canceled out the Roman cancel, but it kept all of that momentum going downwards, right? As we talked about earlier. Keeps all the momentum. So what happens is we just immediately land in front of the enemy. And that, you will know what's coming, but from a purely visual perspective, that is completely unseeable to the enemy. And therein lies a little bit of a mix. Because from there, first, our option is, we obviously land it right in front of you, and you're all totally bamboozled by this, right? Because that's hard to see. And we're going to go low. So, basic example, but just to give you the idea of the concept, right? So I've gone low. Now, once that's established and okay, I got to keep blocking, I can just go for the command grab instead, right? And this is hardly Sol only. This applies to a lot of characters. Anyone who has any move with downwards momentum, if you were to Roman cancel that move, and then quick Roman cancel out of it, or you don't even have to, just, you still keep the momentum, but just makes the mix-up a lot easier to work with, right? Anyone that has a lot of downward momentum, you cancel out of it real quick, the Roman cancel, and then you're just, boop, lickety split in their face, and whatever mix-ups you can think of, they just have to guess. Now, another thing that's truly amazing with the Roman cancels is they can help really be tricky with your overdrives, your super moves. Now, granted, these examples will take you, they'll take all of your meter, right? You need 100% meter, but they're very strong. Because the thing is, there's quite a few supers in this game that happen with or without you. They don't need you at the wheel once they start. Ramlethal's big laser super is one of them. As once it's getting on its way here, I can just kind of get out ahead of it if I were to Roman cancel. Takes all my bar, yes, but still, it's there. And of course, being there and being well in front of the enemy, we can make a little bit of a mix-up. Alright, so, hold this block. Here comes all this laser. You obviously get the block easy. Oh, you didn't block low. Whoops. It's not like you can see me anyways do that low, but I did a little low right there, right? Should have blocked low. Alright, let's try this again here. Alright, here we go. We got all this meter. Let's burn it. Oh, There's a quick overhead there. You didn't see it because of all the green? I know it's hard, right? There was a little quick overhead there. Should have blocked overhead, right? And in this, admittedly, very simple situation, right? But just due to all the visual noise, all the garbage happening here on the screen, it can be hard to see what's going on. And a very simple quick dust, or, you know, for an overhead, or quick, like, down kick for a low, the enemy kind of just has to guess. And when, you know, the chips are down, it could be the end of the round, right? And all you need is just a little bit of damage, and this will give you that little bit of damage. And this is just one case example. There's plenty more, so let's go to a more advanced one. So May has this with both of her supers. So an easy example here with Mr. Whale. You do it, get out ahead of it, and like, oh, didn't block the overhead, right? So then all of a sudden the whale connects and it hits you, and much the same with the low, so it kind of works like a Ramlethal example. But now we can do a left-right, because Mr. Goshigawara, her killer whale, you can detach May from the whale with the purple RC, and the whale will still do its thing. And that's where we get really tricky. So this is best done when like people are on top of you, like you're waking up, because it is their only invincible move. Or you can do it on their wake up if you're a jerk, right? But just as an example here. So let's move here. Let's detach. Oh, that was a cross up. Meaning you had to block that the other way. So if you didn't block that the other way, you just got crushed by the whale. And of course, this is where a lot of the deception comes in. That one you had to block same side. So I was over top of you with the Roman cancel, sure, right? But then I air backdashed. And then that switched to the side, you had to block the whale back to the original side. So either immediately, you got to block cross up, or with this version, you got to block same side. And it gets more devious yet, because we can delay the backdash timing of our air dash a little bit, or we can delay the timing of our purple RC, whichever works. And that one was a fake cross up. So it looked like I was going back the other way, and instead I actually wasn't in time, and that one you did actually still have to block cross up. So suffice to say, there is many layers. And if you're willing to burn 100% of your meter, you can turn your, you know, plain Jane super move into a true terror for so many characters. And our last great thing about Roman cancels to talk about in this video is I know a lot of people struggle with charge inputs. Like for me, when I was a kid, I could only ever play E-Honda, because to me, motion inputs, they were too hard. I could only do charge stuff, right? That and E-Honda had the mash, right? Which was great. But the red Roman cancel specifically is looking to make your life a lot easier on that front, as it actually removes all charge requirements. So if I just go, say, close slash into Roman cancel, right? I will not have any charge built up. You can see my inputs on the side. How that happened, I just got Heavy Dolphin. I didn't charge at all. Heavy Dolphin is a charge move, right? I have to charge for it. If I don't have enough charge, it won't come out. But while you're under the auspices of the red Roman cancel, it relaxes all charge inputs. It can be simply back, forward, and a button. So one more time here. There we go, got a dolphin. And we have Leo here too, right? Same idea for Leo. I got his downward charge here, is like, you know, flash kick style of move without any charge. So if charge is difficult for you guys, you can just simply red Roman cancel, then immediately input whatever the charge move is, either back, forward, or down, up, and your appropriate button, and you'll just get it right there on the spot. Just a little quality of life thing, sure. But for those of you that will make life easier for, well, then I'm happy to impart this knowledge onto you. Just as a little note, though, once again, it has to be specifically the red Roman cancels. Blue Roman cancels just doesn't work. Purple Roman cancel doesn't work. Does have to be the red one. So those are just some interesting ideas and things you can do with Roman cancels, and hopefully it gets those creative juices flowing, because with Guilty Gear Strive, honestly, Roman canceling, it's the most complex it's ever been in the history of the series. And as the game goes on and just keeps going throughout, you know, the weeks, months, and years, I very firmly believe that the Roman cancel will be the lifeblood of this game. Like, a lot of the coolest stuff you can do in this game will be back off the Roman cancel. So learn it now while you can and get an edge over your enemies. And all that said, my friends, that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.